might be in store for some if he's going down the path that he's thinking of, a 2-on-1 handicap match. He's accepting, going into this
surprise.
week. Yeah, going into this week, there was a lot of speculation. Who is Darby's tag partner going to be, SPD? We all had different ideas. But I don't think any of us thought that Darby would be bold or crazy enough to take on this match in a handicap match. What were your thoughts when you heard him drop that bombshell?
In typical dark, scenic promo of Darby, this promo honestly didn't hit as much as I wanted it to. I wanted a little bit more out of Darby, but him to stay at home, it almost felt like telling your dad not to come to your football game or something like that. I got this, I don't want you to watch me or something like that. But, I know you are the conductor of the Darby Express. So for him to do that is kind of like a wow factor. I think the way it plays out, though, is obviously Darby can't take down two of these beasts in Paige and Sky, the men of the year, which we heard from a little bit later in the show, which I love the men of the year. Yeah. Two guys that are top of their game right now. I feel like Darby is going to have some spurts, the typical 90. I think someone will come out and join Darby, whether it be a surprise Sting return, even though he's not coming home, or someone like you mentioned, maybe a Lance Archer coming to save the day in a way, something like that. So I think that's the way you have to play it out. I mean, I can't imagine Darby getting a clean win over Paige and Sky. Yeah, that would really bury them, honestly.
Yeah, you can't.
The men of the year.
The men of the year. You can't do that. Although their vibe is definitely, the men of the year, their vibe is definitely like that kind of overly cocky.
Sure, of course.
Those guys are always fun to watch when something bad happens to them. How they react, scrambling out of embarrassment, and how they spin it so that they continue to stay cocky. So I mean, nothing would surprise me.
Sure.
But I have to say that this bombshell by Darby was completely out of left field, but it fits his character so well.
Definitely.
And so it's a win-win, right? This is an opportunity going into the pay-per-view. You and I talked a lot about, do you have Scorpio Sky and Ethan Page lose? They were climbing the rankings in the tag division and clearly moving in a way that felt like they were emerging as legitimate tag team contenders.
Sure.
And I'm a huge fan of this pairing. Ethan Page feels very much heel. It. Ethan Page, when you talk about heels, this dude is emerging quickly as a superstar. Every time he's on the mic, this guy knows how to cut killer promos. He's got the look. I love the Ethan's edge. He's kind of got some size to him, which is good, And I like Scorpio Sky's new shirt. I dug that. I feel like being paired with Ethan Page takes a lot of pressure off of Scorpio to carry promos, right. Although he's been doing a nice job. I mean, I think that he's been holding his own alongside Ethan Page. I think just having that pairing allows Scorpio to get his footing underneath him. We haven't gotten a lot of Scorpio on his own. When he debuted here in AEW, he was with SCU, and he's always kind of been a team guy. He's getting more and more opportunities now to have mic work, to have promo work. And we all know he's a wrestling savant. We know what he can do in the ring. But now that he's being paired with a guy like Ethan Page, who oozes confidence, very smooth on the mic, you're seeing some of that rub off on Scorpio. And you're starting to see him kind of being able to breathe and realize, man, we're going to kill it. We're going to crush it no matter what, because I got this guy to come in. She's going to swoop in if things go off the tracks. I think they're working really, really well together. And the way this feud is trending, it's not just being cocky. Yeah. There's an edge to these guys. They have a little bit like throwing Darby down the flight of steps, wanting to end Sting's career. There's an anger to them, which is really working. Darby going in as an underdog now allows AEW, after the Men of the Year lost at the pay-per-view, it allows them to get a convincing win. Like you talked about, Darby can fight valiantly and come up short, and everybody comes out looking better in the end. This is what I love when AEW is able to tap into those win-win situations. You have Darby, who is the ultimate underdog, go into a match where he's basically going into the Lions Den. He's going in 2-on-1 situation against a guy, Scorpio, who recently won the brass ring, and Ethan Page, who is a hot free agent that got into AEW.
Sure.
You got a win-win situation where Darby, even if he loses, still comes out looking like $1 million. It plays into his character where as the underdog guy who is defiant, doesn't want to take a handout from anybody. And then you can lean into these two guys, Ethan Page and Scorpio, being total dirtbags. They're not going to apologize. They gave Darby, think about it from their perspective, they gave Darby an opportunity to pick a tag partner. This loner loser punk couldn't even find a friend. So now, okay, if you want to come into this match 2-on-1, let's prove something to you. Let's prove a point and just beat the crap out of you, right? Just beat the piss out of you. And I think that's going to be a really cool aesthetic. If you let those two guys get that, show off what they can do in the ring.
Sure.
Really milk it. Get the crowd invested. Milk it. Imagine what the crowd's reaction will be when Darby is getting pummeled 2-on-1. And he's begging, he's trying. Oh man, it's gonna be fantastic. It's gonna make Darby that much more over. Choo choo! Darby Express is coming into the station, and it's gonna put even more heat. It's gonna put even more heat on the Men of the Year. I think that this is one of those bookings where it's a win-win. I love what they did here. I don't want this feud to end because I think that it gives all guys a purpose, and you could clearly see that it's working. What they have right now, the formula is working right now. I think that this is going to continue going forward in the weeks that come. And if you get a brutal beatdown from Sky and Page on Darby, it's only going to add that much more fuel to the fire. Because Sting's watching at home, which Darby was begging him, don't come next week. Sting's watching at home. Stinger is going to be fired up if he sees Darby getting beaten down like that, right? He's going to want a piece of them himself.
For sure. Maybe he could, if he sees something going a little too sour, he can, shut the lights off, make it snow, and not necessarily appear, but just kind of his creepy, aura, showcase something like that. But